very hard for the past several months trying to put this project together and come up with concept plans that we think would really work. Some of the projects that you may be aware of that we've done in the area, the Annapolis Town Center Parole, the Hunt Valley Town Center, which was, both those were old dead malls. We also developed the Village at Watt Chapel, and we currently have under construction Watt Chapel Town Center in Crofton, which is anchored by Wegmans, Regal Cinema, Target, Bed Bath Beyond, and a bunch of other guys. We're really excited to be part of this, the Laurel project. And I know everybody in this room is impatient, and no one's more impatient when it comes to redeveloping a dead mall than me. Excuse me. So we have made great progress. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update. We have signed letters of intent with 2 national anchor tenants with over 100,000 square feet. We're negotiating 3 additional anchor tenant leases right now. I can't tell you the names of the tenants yet because we don't have signed leases, and we just as a policy can't do it for confidentiality purposes. One is a theater, though, so we will bring a beautiful new theater to the city of Laurel, and we hope to do it as soon as possible. We have already submitted demolition plans for the front deck of the mall, which is in horrible condition, and we're working on demolition plans for the balance of the mall. And I do want to say how terrific the administration has been to work with. They understand the process, they understand the project, they've been very helpful. When we submitted the demolition plan for the front deck, we got great service, understanding that the permit was turned around quickly, so we actually have the permit in hand. We are about, I would say, about 90 days from moving forward with the demolition. We may move forward with the demolition of the front deck in the next couple of weeks to kind of open it up and to start preparing the site for demolition and redevelopment. We also have the permit from the county with the assistance of the city administration for the stormwater management that has to go along with the demolition. Last few things we have to put together have to do with private agreements with existing tenants. And we have agreements in concept with both the major existing tenants, but they have not been documented yet. And once we get all the paperwork done, we're going to go full steam ahead with the demolition. And I would hope that we'd be under full demolition and then unveiling our plans for this project by the beginning of next year. So I wish I could give you more detail, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I can tell you that we have great leasing momentum for the project, and I'm really excited. And then the anchors that we're talking about will be new entries to the market. And I think all the anchors, the 2 that have already been signed as letters of intent, and the 3 others that we're working on right now, all new entries into the market. So again, please be patient. I've been doing this for 7 months now, and I know you guys have been working it forever, and we've been through a recession, and it's been a horrible blight for the community for a long period of time. But we are on the 10-yard line, and we're going to get in the end zone soon. So with that said, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Let me start with the mayor. Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to acknowledge and thank Mr. Gibbons for being here. I've had the opportunity to meet several times with him regarding some of the tenants. As I have said to the press, and I'll say again publicly, I've had the opportunity to hear some of these tenants that are coming, and I think the individual, the community is going to be very, very happy with what they see. And I can only say you're, as I said in the beginning, you're a breath of fresh air compared to the last mall individuals I was dealing with. They were tough to deal with. But when you say something, you go straight ahead with it, and your word is gold here as far as I'm concerned, because everything that you've told me that you're going to do, you've achieved that. So thank you very much for being here, and I just want to at least let the council know that the administration, Christy and Carl and others have been meeting with Mr. Gibbons' staff almost every couple of weeks and putting things together. So as you heard, I'm very excited, and I think the public is going to be very happy with what they see there. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. Do any of the council members have any questions, comments? Fred?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Gibbons, you've heard this, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time to be here with us tonight. But you probably, and certainly like all of us here on the council, have heard many, many times from the residents of the city how important this mall is. We can hardly go anywhere where someone is not asking us, what about the mall? So we're really pleased that you're here publicly tonight to address the progress that you're making. And I think it will help go a long way in letting people really know, because as the mayor's kind of indicated, we've had start and stops. But we're very, very, very optimistic that we're going to move forward. We're going to help you get across the 10-yard line and to the goal. So we appreciate the information you provided for us tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Smalls. Ms. Robinson?
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I know you meet with the administration, with Mrs. Mills and Mr. Brindle. How about periodically you wouldn't come before us and give us a update like you are tonight?
Be happy to do it. Be happy to do it. And again, I think that we're very close. I don't like to go public until I really have something, because the last thing I want to do is tell you something and then not be able to do it.
Right, I can understand that.
But we're getting very close right now. I'm very excited about it, and we have made a lot of progress with the tenants, and we've made a lot of progress with the entire redevelopment plan. Again, one of the most difficult things about redeveloping a mall like this is the existing tenants, and how you rearrange and relocate and so on, and the timing and the phasing and all the things that go along with it. That really is what takes a lot of time, and we're through a great majority of that. We're not done, but we're through with a great majority of
Would
that
help
work.
us answer those questions when they say, when are you going to do something
okay.
about that mall?
Again, the mayor has my phone number, and I'm happy to share. If you have questions, please feel free to call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Ms. Robinson. Ms. Nicholas, I'm sorry. I keep making a mistake. I apologize, Valerie.
Thank you for being here. I just echo what Jan and Fred said, and I just wanted to ask you, the demolition date, you said it's going to be, when is that date again? You said by the end of?
Well, it's going to be two-phase demolition. The first will be the front parking deck. I would hope to have that done in the next several weeks. At the very latest, though, we'll have it done by the end of the year.
Okay.
And we're again, it's all about making sure that the existing businesses aren't interrupted and so on. So it's really a phasing and a timing. We'll be coming in with additional demolition plans this fall. And when we come in with those additional demolition plans, it'll be pretty clear what our development plan is going to be. And then once we get these private agreements finalized, we'll roll out and introduce our development plans for the mall for everybody to see. But conceptually, it's going to be an open-air town center style project, similar to what we've done in Hunt Valley and Waugh Chapel and other projects.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Ms. Crary.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please don't misunderstand our impatience as with you or your company. It's project fatigue at this point.
I understand.
That was one of the questions I had is, just a general when we're going to start demolition. Because again, everybody in the city wants to see some progress.
I understand. It's very important. I mean, showing a little bit of physical progress is important. And when we did Annapolis, we demolished the entire old. It was the time it was called the Parole Plaza, but we had the luxury of not having any tenants in there at the time. So the tenants, having to demolish around existing tenants without tremendous interruption is one of the most difficult challenges.
And I believe that was almost 14 years.
It was 14 years.
And
yes.
you've been on this 8 months?
Yes, but I wasn't on that 14 years. That sat for 14 years. We bought it in 2003 and demolished it in 2004.
Great.
And opened in 2008.
And the stormwater, is that through DPW or the county council or both?
I think it's through the county councils, both.
Public Works in the county.
I've been asked, how do we intend to do it? We intend to comply with all the requirements of the new law. Mm-hmm. We're not asking we will not be asked to be grandfathered into any other plan. We'll meet whatever the requirements of the law are.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Petra, Ms. Gibbons, I want to thank you for coming tonight, and as I'm sure you got the message, periodically we'd like to have you come back and visit us. I know your time is a little stretched, but hopefully it could be at a work session next time, maybe in December or January. Okay? Again, thank you very much. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mayor.
Brian, you all just won another national award, right, for Annapolis?
For Annapolis, yeah, it was a design, an Urban Land Institute Design Award for it was the overall design of the project. Annapolis is a very dense, vertically integrated mixed-use town center, and it's called the Wavemaker Award, which is, it's best design for a mixed-use project.
Right, and I want to thank you too for working with the city and working with the tenants that are over there, because I know there was a lot of concern that somebody was going to come in and just tell everybody to get out. You've kept that mall where people can go and do some purchasing of items, so it's not sitting there vacant, and we understand that, and want to thank you for just not telling everybody to kind of move on, and so that was important too, I think. So thank you for working with us on that.
And again, thank you for coming.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 6, report of the mayor and city council. Ms. Robinson. Thank you. Mr. Smalls.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief. I had the opportunity to attend and host the Prince George's County Municipal Association's meeting in Greenbelt. The subject of the meeting was emergency preparedness, and we had our own Marty Flemian, who handled very capably the task of talking to municipal officials about some of the things that they need to consider and do in order to have an effective emergency response plan for their municipalities. And Marty had his own cheering section, I might add, and I don't think they were paid. The amount of information you provided and the response that you got, you certainly provided some very, very valuable and useful information. The comments I heard after the meeting were extremely positive. So I thank you on behalf of the board and the members of PGCMA. Thank you. On November 17th, PGCMA is holding its annual legislative scholarship dinner. The dinner will be held at the Metro Points Hotel in New Carrollton. And I think announcements went out today, but tickets are $50. If you would like, you can talk to me later and we'll work out a deal. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Ms. Nicholas. Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Ms. Cray.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the 14th, I attended a meeting with county officials on the Bear Branch project next to the volunteer fire department, and they've had some rain delays. They hope to be finished by the middle of November. It was raining so hard that day that I turned on my flashers and pulled over. I didn't dare drive down by the stream itself, and so passerbys were stopping to see if I was broken down on the road. I said, no, I'm here to inspect. In addition, I attended the Domestic Violence Forum sponsored by the Laurel PD on October 20th. It was very informative, and what was amazing was all the groups were so complimentary as far as our own Laurel Police Department in being the first to gather together all the support groups for domestic violence, and I applaud them for doing that. This week is early voting. Get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Let me do the Boy Scouts first. I've got Eric comments from Troop 259. Why don't you stand up, Eric? He's working on his citizenship in the community merit badge. And do you want to come say anything? Come up to the microphone. They'll make sure it's on for you, and you can say a few words. Make sure it's pulled. Is it on? Push it up toward you. The light come on? Well, we'll try again. Now we're going to try again here.
Well, anyway, like I was saying.
There you go.
Test. Okay, that's better. Okay, so as I was saying, so like we are Troop 299. We've been around for a very long time, like decades at the least, very much decades. And recently, we are here today. We're working on a merit badge called citizenship in the community. Pardon my mispronunciation there. Today we have with us a scout named Jake, and we have what's your name again? We have Daniel, and I think I saw another one of us around here. We have Mr. Rizek as well. There was supposed to be a little bit more of us, but pardon their absence. Recently we just recovered from the possibility of a troop death, so to speak, meaning we would lose all our members completely. However, we've been countering this by recruiting some more, and the like. So that's we find this as a big step towards revival of the troop and the like, because it has been thriving for a while, but then it just died. Well, not died, but was close to it, and we are currently trying to reverse that. We've been working on a number of merit badges and the like. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, why don't you, the other two young men that are here, why don't you just come up to the microphone and state your name, okay? Just pull the microphone down to you. Come on, won't bite you. Just state your name. That'll be good. It's on.
My name is Jake Ribbon. I live in West Laurel, and I am in Troop 259 doing citizenship community, and that's why I'm here right now.
Excellent. Okay, now you really got to pull it down. That's okay. Go ahead.
My name is Daniel Bedenbaugh. I'm a part of Troop 259, and I'm in 6th grade, and I live in Applewalk Drive, Laurel, Maryland, and I'm doing citizenship in the community.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you all here. Now, the way it's going to work is Eric gave the clerk his email address, and the clerk is going to email you the minutes of this meeting because you'll need that for the report you have to do. Okay? And come back and visit us in the future. Thank you. Monday, October 17th, I attended the Laurel Regional Hospital Foundation. Although the foundation is not the board, it is a separate fundraising entity, there's genuine concern about the impact that the movement of another hospital within 10 miles will have on the city of Laurel, the Laurel Beltsville Regional Hospital. It took years to get the Conti Road interchange approved. The land has been given by Conterra, and we're on the cusp now where it will make that ground as a hospital, as a destination, extremely valuable because you'll be able to get there much quicker than you can now. So we have to watch the Tacoma Park application and see what happens to that. Tuesday, October 18th, I attended the Historic District Commission meeting. I apologize to the police department for having missed the domestic violence program at the police department the other night. We're going to be passing an ordinance tonight dealing with domestic violence, and all these council members are very much interested in that. I want to congratulate my colleague because on Saturday, October 22nd, her alma mater, Bowie State, defeated Elizabeth State 37-33. Finally, a reminder to all that we be very mindful about the young people out that will be trick-or-treating over the next several days, especially on Thursday night on Main Street. Police department's going to be out there. All the different service groups are going to be out there making sure the kids don't get in the street, but please be extremely careful Thursday evening between 6 and 8 p.m. That concludes my report, Mayor. You have the
Thank
floor.
you, Mr. President. A couple of things. The Emergency Services Commission, I want to thank them, did host a meeting. We had representatives from Baltimore BG&E and Constellation here. And the point of that was to let them know what issues we were dealing with and how we can work together so that these types of issues are taken care of ahead of time and not during an emergency. So we appreciate them being here, and want to thank the commission for taking care of that as well. I did have the opportunity, along with council members, to attend the Laurel Park 100th Birthday Bash and Fall Fest over at the Laurel Racetrack. The fifth race was the Laurel Community Classic Race, and had the opportunity to help present the winner with their trophy, and got some pictures taken along with other community representatives from Russet, from Maryland City, and others within the area of the track. So we want to, again, congratulate them. Did have the opportunity to attend the lovely ladies fundraiser over at Don Pablo's. As lovely ladies do a lot of hard work and a lot of volunteer work within the community here, so I was glad to be able to do that. Did have the opportunity as well to swear in 3 new police officers, as well as the oath of office to the election judges that will be working on November the 1st. Did have the opportunity to attend the Candidates Night at the Laurel Board of Trade, and as you heard, the Laurel Police Department did their kickoff program for the domestic violence. I want to again commend them and thank them for all the hard work that they did. I did attend the Columbians Toastmaster Club 50th anniversary celebration, where our keynote speaker, Councilwoman Donna Edwards, spoke. For those that have been following the redistricting, the city and West Laurel will fall into the 4th Congressional District, depending on any possible litigation that may occur. We did have the opportunity to speak, and as I said publicly at that meeting, when we go down to Washington, D.C. and do our Laurel Day, Donna Edwards has always opened her door and always had the opportunity to discuss Laurel issues with us, and we appreciate that. So we'll see how it all works out. The governor signed the bill, so we'll see what happens when we talk about litigation, but it looks like Congressman Hoyer is going to stay in the 5th, and the city and West Laurel area will become part of the 4th. As you heard, early voting starts this Thursday, the 27th, here at the Municipal Center from 9 to 5. Friday, the 28th, from 9 to 5 here at the Municipal Center, and Saturday, the 29th, from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. Election Day will be November the 1st. This year, you're voting by wards. Ward 1 residents will come here to the Municipal Center, and Ward 2 residents will go to the Robert DePietro Community Center. You're able to vote from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. You have to be a resident of the city to do so. We have a lot of people that always come to our elections thinking they live in the city, but they live in either Russet, Maryland City, Howard County, other places, and they don't realize that you have to live in the city of Laurel. And if there's some discrepancies on that, we'll probably ask you just to show an ID if there's any issues. With that said, that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to agenda item number 8. I'm sorry, move to agenda item number 7, general public hearing. I will open the general public hearing at 7:26. I have no one signed up to speak for the general public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the general public hearing at 7:26. Move to agenda item number 8. Second public hearing with possible action on resolution number 19-11. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Laurel condemning bullying and/or any other form of physical abuse and requesting vigorous enforcement of existing laws and participation by the Mayor and City Council members in any and all appropriate programs concerning such violent issues. I read it into the record for the second reading. I will open the public hearing at 7:28. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? I know, I'm going to mention that. I will note that there is an amendment. It was amended 10/24 today, 11. Let me read the amendments into the record. Under the be it further resolved that the mayor and city council designate a council member to participate in any city, county, state, or federal programs or groups dealing with any of the violence herein enumerated. Be it further resolved that the web link below referring to bullying will be added to the city's website to further educate the community with tip sheets and guides. And that's http://stopbullying.gov/index.html. Be it further resolved that the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, also known as 7233, or 1-800-787-3224 for TTY, and the website http://www.thehotline.org will also be added to the city's website. Be it further resolved that this resolution to take effect from the date of its passage. Okay, so that's the amendment has been read into the record. Again, I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 7:30. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve resolution number 19-11.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Do I have a
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rao.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
President Lowe?
Yes, I want to thank Ms. Nicholas for bringing this to the council for consideration.
Mayor Mel?
As amended, I'll concur.
We'll move on to agenda item number 9, introduction and first public hearing on ordinance number 1729, map amendment number 824, an ordinance to approve map amendment application number 824 for rezoning of property known as Anderson's Corner, located at 6901 Van Duzen Road, Laurel, Maryland, consisting of 25.358 acres, identified as tax parcel 8 by Peggy M. Herman and all, located at the northeasterly intersection of Van Duzen Road and Virginia Manor Road for placement in the MXT zone, with a conceptual development plan as required in section 20-12 MXT zone of the City of Laurel Unified Land Development Code. Okay, I've read the ordinance into the record. I will open the public hearing at 7:31. The first person signed up to speak is Mr. DePietro. If you'd state your name and address for the record, Mr. DePietro.
Mayor, President, members of the council, DePietro, 502 Norman Avenue, Laurel, Maryland.
Check the mic there.
Is that better?
That's great.
Okay. Bob DePietro, 502 Gorman Avenue, RJD Consultants, representing Ribera Development, who are the contract purchasers. This property was zoned just a couple years, annexed a couple years ago into the city. It's part of your growth area and acknowledged in your master plan as MXT. With me tonight, I have Mr. Eric DeVito, who is a partner at Ribera Development. He's also a practicing attorney here in the state of Maryland. Eric is going to make a few comments about the project. I have some maps, with your permission, I'd like to put up in front of you up at the dais, and I would also like to make the comment that we will stay till the end of the meeting tonight. If anybody in the public would like to sit and talk with us for a few minutes and take a look at the maps. But with that, let me introduce to you Eric DeVito.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, rest of the City Council. As Bob said, my name is Eric DeVito. I'm with Ribera Development, or Ribera Land Company is actually other names you'll hear for us. But Mr. Smalls, I guess I'm surprised that, the first question you hear is not what's going on with Anderson's Corner, as opposed to what's going on with the mall. No,
That's coming next.
I just teased.
Yes.
No, just, we have, as Mr. DePietro said, we've been working with the city for quite some time on this project. We got it annexed a couple years ago, and we certainly thank Carl and the mayor's staff and city staff. It's been, a great working relationship. We wish we do business in a lot of counties and elsewhere in Maryland. We wish everybody operated the way you all do. It's just it's a breath of fresh air. This is what I would consider the natural progression of things with this project. We had the annexation done. It was always envisioned at that time that this property would be placed into the MXD zone or overlay, however you want to refer to it, and that is where we are right now. This is the appropriate time in the process to do this. We are getting a lot of interest, as you can imagine. We are right next door to the Conterra project, so that obviously has put a lot of interest on that corner, that intersection, with all the road improvements that are going on. We have been contacted both by SHA and the county. We're working with everyone to cooperate and get that whole road infrastructure network the way everybody wants it to work. And so this zoning is a part of all of that, so we can get this project moving, get all the road improvements in place, and again, just keep it moving the way I think everyone envisions it, that it would move. I don't really have much additional to report at this time on the project. I'm happy to answer any questions you have or go into anything in more detail, but this time it probably makes most sense to just respond to anything you all have and questions you have about the project.
Let me, Mayor DePietro's got the concept plan that Mr. DeVito, let me suggest we do this. Why don't we take a look at this, and if there's any question from the council, we'll put them in writing to you and Mr. DePietro, and maybe invite you to come to a work session.
That'd be great.
And we can talk about specifics to this plan. How does that sound?
That works perfectly for me.
Okay. You all right with that, Mr. DePietro?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
The document that you all are looking at is I apologize. The document you're looking at is a combination of the Conterra project, and the property at the top is Anderson's Corner. It is bound by what you know as Van Dusen, Contee, and Virginia Manor Road. What is important to note is these roads will all be realigned to the new Contee overpass at I-95, which will become a full interchange. And those roads will now enter the city with direct access from I-95. What that map is depicting for you is so that you can see the way the new road network is taking place. I would point out that just 3 weeks ago, the SHA, State Highway Administration, contacted us. They have advised us at this point in time that the interchange project at what we call Virginia Manor or Van Dusen and Contee, this would be off Schweitzer Lane, over 95, coming into the city at the very kind of strange three-way stop, if you know where I'm talking about. That corner is our property. And it is our understanding that from SHA, they are asking us to agree to the taking of several acres of property at this time. They would like our answers of the taking of that property in the next 2 weeks. The contracts will be awarded for this project in mid-November to whoever the selected construction company is. And this, according to SHA, the Contee Road interchange and these road improvements that the state has control of will commence as early as March, no later than April 1st for going into full construction. This is a design-build plan, as we've been told, which means they'll be designing and building simultaneously. It's a funded project. In the meantime, today we were notified by Prince George's County that the extension of Virginia Manor around to the ICC, the widening of Conti Road will be extended through our property and realigned. And the county's notified us today that they will be contacting us in the next 2 weeks for an additional meeting to begin giving them right-of-way for the extension of Virginia Manor and the realignment of Conti Road. So you can see our need and concern to move forward, be cooperative to try to get the road network system that's been promised here since probably the last 50 years is now for real and taking place. And so we will keep you all abreast as we go through this process on the rezoning.
Thank you, Mr. DePietro. If my colleagues are in agreement, I think we need to do is take a look at this, digest what you just said, and then we'll go ahead and put something in writing to you or invite you to come back at the next work session.
Well, we're scheduled at your work session November
Excellent.
2nd for another sit-down, same as we did on October 5th.
All right.
I just have one
Go ahead,
comment,
go ahead,
Mr.
Fred.
President. While I am certainly in agreement with your suggestion, I'd just like to ask the applicant, Mr. DePietro, if you would, at whatever time we meet, come prepared to give us detail on the road network that you just gave us an overview on. With the as ambitious a project as both Conterra and Anderson's Corner will be, the impact on traffic is certainly paramount. So I'd like to get as much information as you can provide us.
I would put for the record, and we have done that, I have, in fact, an aerial with me tonight showing 198 all the way over to this property, inclusive of I-95, Cherry Lane, Van Dusen, and what you're going to see is what the city has been predicting for several years is going to be the complete shift of the traffic away from the 198 Van Dusen arena over to the Conti area, because all that pass-through traffic that is now using Van Dusen to Cherry Lane is now going to shift to Conti and use either Conti or Virginia Manor to accomplish to get to South Laurel, because it'll have a direct interchange and a direct access. And the studies are clearly indicating that from both Conterra's expert, our expert, SHA's expert. And we do have a map showing the decline of the amount of traffic at each interchange. And we're also showing you where it moved, because it's obviously moved and it's going to increase at certain intersections. But most of the increase is going to occur on the south side of town next to the ICC and the Conti Road interchange. But we have those numbers, and we'll be happy to share with them on an aerial photograph.
Thank you. Are we all right with that? Okay, Mayor, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out, and I think Mr. Peters already hit on that administration's been working with Rivera for quite some time. One of the concerns we've always had is everybody's worried about Conterra and all the traffic being driven through the city of Laurel. Nobody was worried about the city of Laurel, in my view. Rivera's worked very well with us. I think that when you see the map Mr. Petro has, the impact, the road system, and seeing the impacts decrease on some of these roads in the Laurel area and the cut-through traffic, I think you'll be very surprised. Remind the county, remind the state. We'd also like for our right-of-ways, because we want to make sure we have biker trails and pedestrian-friendly areas. And I know for quite some time that both the state and the county keep trying to get their hands on all the different properties up here. So we just want to make sure it works for the city. We hope Conterra moves forward. But we also want to make sure our road system and our network is taken care of as well. And they've done a wonderful job of doing that. So we want to thank you all for that as well.
I would note, just for the record, that we've had a pretty good dialogue with the Gould family, the developers of the Conterra project, up to this point, so that we can have some degree of coordination going on through this process. Because, as I said, these are pretty substantial road changes that are taking place on the south side of town. But everybody is talking and working together and sharing data and information.
Thank you. Okay, I have no one else signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 7:43. Okay, this will,
Mr. President,
huh?
this will be up for a second public
Yeah.
hearing on November 14th.
This be up. It'll be at the November work session, and it'll be at we'll make a determination as to scheduling for the additional public hearings. Is that correct at that time? Okay.
We're going to move on action on this.
Oh, I understand, but we've got some statutory requirements for advertising, and we'll make sure we meet all those. John? Thank you. Okay. Move to agenda item number 10, introduction first public hearing on ordinance number 1730, an ordinance to amend Chapter 7, garbage, trash, weeds, etc., of the Laurel City Code and providing an effective date. Read the title of the record for the first reading. I will open the public hearing at 7:44. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 7:44. This will also be discussed at the November work session. Is that correct, Ms. Rao? Okay. Nothing else to come before the council. Meeting's over.